Hey guys, Andre here from Novoresume. Today I'm going to be talking about something that everyone wants these days. A remote job. Not having to commute to work every day, saving a ton on not eating out for lunch, and having the convenience to work from any part of the world. Well, no surprise that remote jobs are so popular these days. But because of this popularity though, remote jobs are also so much harder to get hired for. So in this video, I'll teach you all you need to know to get hired for a remote role and keep it.
Career Advice by Novoresume.
You decided you're going remote. The prospects of not having to commute to work every day and getting a healthier work-life balance is too good not to try. As with any other type of job application process, landing a remote role is a three-step process. You will need to create a compelling resume, pair it with a great cover letter, and impress the hiring manager. So in this video, we're going to go through each part of the process in more detail. But before we do that though, here's a quick list of all the websites you can use to find remote jobs online. Feel free to pause the video and check them out. Now that we got that out of the way, let's start with your resume. To make a remote-friendly resume, start by mentioning that you're looking for a remote job specifically. While most job listings specify that the job is remote, that may not always be the case. Some companies, for example, may allow you to work remotely if you're qualified for the job. If you're just an okay fit, they might ask you to come and work from the office. So, to make sure you and your prospective employer are on the same page, it's good to specify that you're looking for a remote role. There are three places where you can do that in your resume. Firstly, in the contact information section, where you can specify your preference by writing working remotely from wherever your location is. In the resume summary, you can start off by mentioning your field, years of experience, and intention to work remotely. And also in the work experience section, if you have previous experience with remote work, for example, you can list it under your professional title. Done? Good. Now, the next step is to highlight any remote work skills you possess. Remote work typically requires a specific set of skills if you want to perform well.
But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career.
You might be really great at your job, but if you don't have the right skills for a remote role, you might still end up underperforming. So, some of the most important remote work skills are: first, written communication. Since you won't be seeing your coworkers face-to-face as often, you'll need strong written communication skills to compensate. Second, self-motivation. When working from home, you don't have the external motivation coming from your environment or team. Hence, you need to be able to motivate yourself. And third, organization. When working remotely, you'll be in charge of organizing your own time, schedule, and work environment. In addition to these soft skills, you'll also need some experience using online tools. Remote companies rely heavily on software to keep the business running. Hence, you can also list some of these remote work tools in your resume to show that you have some experience using them. Asana, Basecamp, Slack, Trello, Miro, and others. And finally, step number 3, you should show off any self-driven professional experience such as projects that you've managed independently or any similar initiatives. Having the dedication and drive to carry through such projects can show that you're able to meet deadlines and work effectively without a boss looking over your shoulder. So, if you've done freelance projects, built your own website, worked on any type of side hustle, and so on, you should make sure to list all that in your resume. And that wraps up all you need to do to make your resume remote friendly. If you want to learn more about the basics of writing a resume, make sure to check out this video. Onwards, let's talk cover letters. Creating a great cover letter for a remote job is almost the same as creating a cover letter for a conventional role. You should introduce yourself and briefly cover your work history, talk about your top achievements and responsibilities, and wrap up your cover letter with a call to action. One extra thing you want to do here is also communicate your desire to work in a remote company, as well as talk about your past experiences doing so. So, for example, in your cover letter, you can say something like this: I've heard a lot of good things about the remote work culture at Pair Computers, and I'd love to be part of it. While I don't have best experiences with remote work, I do have a ton of experience working on my own projects from home. For example, over the past 2 years, I've been running my own personal finance blog, which I grew to over 2,000 email subscribers. This was a great example because it shows two things: the candidate's enthusiasm for working at Pair Computers and their past experience doing autonomous work. If your own cover letter communicates the same thing, you should be good to go. Now, at this point, if you follow all the resume and cover letter tips we just covered, you're well on your way to landing your dream remote job. But we're not done just yet. Let's talk about the final piece of the puzzle: the remote job interview. When interviewing for a remote job, expect questions about how you're going to handle the logistics of working outside the office. For example, the interviewer may ask you how good you are with time management and tell you to provide an example. They might ask something like this: how are your time management skills and how do you plan to use your time effectively while working remotely? If you've worked remotely before, you can talk practically about how you manage your tasks by using project management tools or time management techniques like the Pomodoro technique. But you can nail this interview question even if you haven't worked remotely before. Here's a rock-solid answer example. Though I haven't worked remotely before, I have excellent time management skills due to all the independent projects I've undertaken while also working a full-time office job. To give you an example, over the past 5 years, I've started and grown a personal blog where I give marketing advice. The blog is read by more than 5,000 people monthly, and the blog keeps growing. I've managed to do that by managing my time effectively between my professional responsibilities and my passion for independent blogging. So, in short, during the remote interview, expect questions about how you manage your work and time, and make sure to prepare some answers in advance. And that covers all you need to know about landing a remote role. Landing the job, though, does not guarantee that you'll keep it. To be productive while working remotely, you'll want to learn how to adjust your work schedule. Here are 9 things you need to do to make a smooth transition. 1. Establish your workspace. A personal, dedicated workspace is key to working remotely. As fun as it might seem to lay in bed all day with your laptop, you won't get a lot of work done that way. Whether you go into a co-working space or create your home office, it will make it much easier to get into work mode whenever you sit down. 2. Eliminate distractions. When you're working remotely, distractions come in all shapes and sizes. Flatmates, social media notification, your dog, you name it. To keep them from ruining your productivity, you must minimize distractions. Is it too much noise bothering you? Invest in a pair of good noise-canceling headphones. Getting too many social media notifications? Sign out and turn off any notifications that are non-work related. 3. Set a schedule. A popular misconception about remote work is that you can wake up whenever you feel like it, grab a snack, watch an episode of your favorite sitcom, and then start working. Well, the truth is, if you want to stay productive and finish work by 5 p.m., you need to set a working schedule. Having a schedule will help you turn working from home into a habit and help your body and mind adapt to the new working environment. 4. Track time. One of the best ways to make sure you're sticking to your schedule is to start tracking the time it takes you to complete each of your daily tasks. There are plenty of free apps that allow you to do this. These are just some of our favorites. Tracking your time is a great way to get an overview of your personal productivity and know if you're wasting any time on social media or other distracting activities before it becomes a problem. 5. Dress for work. If what you're thinking right now is, but wait, isn't staying in your pajamas part of the beauty of remote work? Well, the answer is definitely no, especially if you want to be productive. Ask anyone who's working remotely. Taking the time to put on work clothes can be a big psychological boost that can help put you into work mode. Make this part of your daily routine, just like you would when you would go to the office. That way you can also enjoy the end of the workday by getting out of your work clothes and into something more comfortable. 6. Plan ahead. Doing some long-term planning when working remotely can definitely benefit your process and productivity. Making note of deadlines that are a month away, the meetings you can't afford to miss, or all the different client deliverables will help you divide your workload accordingly. In turn, you won't feel suffocated when all these important dates approach and the quality of your work won't suffer. Unfortunately, it's easy to fall into a trap of short-term thinking when you're working remotely. There are several things you can do to keep this from happening, such as using a personal notebook, Google Calendar, or daily and weekly to-do lists. Writing down what you have to do for the week or the month can definitely keep you on track. 7. Set goals and stick to them. Remote work tends to be goal-oriented. After all, there will be no one looking over your shoulder to see if you're actually working most of the time. This is exactly why some people struggle with motivation and finding the willpower to get work done. To avoid this from happening, make sure you set clear tasks and goals daily. This way, you will be sure to maintain optimal levels of motivations when working remotely. 8. Choose what works best for you. Here's the thing with productivity hacks and remote work. There's no one-size-fits-all time management techniques that will magically boost your productivity. Everyone works differently, which means different things work for different people. This means that you should try a few tactics to find out what works best for you personally. You may, for example, find that you prefer to work in intervals of 25 minutes and then take a short break. Or you may prefer to zone into your deep work until you're done. You'll never know this until you try it, so don't hesitate to experiment with different work-from-home methods once you get started to find what works best for you as soon as possible. And 9, communicate clearly. If you don't have experience working remotely, you can expect some bumps in the road during the first few weeks. Why? Because there's no face-to-face communication with your managers and colleagues, and the written communication can lead to misunderstandings now and then. To avoid this, it is important to communicate clearly with your manager and colleagues. Firstly, become familiar with all the project management and communication tools the company uses, as they can help make the entire process smoother. But also, be proactive when you're working remotely. If you don't understand something, ask questions rather than doing something your way and then figuring out it's wrong. If something doesn't work for you, explain why and think about how you can fix it, instead of sulking about it, because that will definitely reflect on your work. Finally, if you feel like you'll need some more time to get the hang of things, let your manager know. They've already hired you for the job, so they won't fire you just because you'll need some time to get adjusted to remote work. As long as you're honest and communicative, it's only bound to get better. And that's about it about landing a remote job and keeping it. Before we wrap things up, though, I wanted to give you some bonus remote work resources that we here at Novoresume think could come in handy. Firstly, let me stress that, unfortunately, not every job is remote friendly. If you have the luxury of picking a remote job, consider becoming an accountant, manager, an online tutor, a virtual assistant, or any of the jobs shown here. And that's a wrap. We hope this short but comprehensive video on remote work helps you land and navigate a remote job successfully. For more career advice, check out our channel and career blog at novoresume.com for resumes and cover letter templates. I've been Andre, thanks for watching and happy job hunting.
Career Advice by Novoresume.